Hi, now we're going to look at a man named Anton van Leeuwenhoek, and he was a microscope maker. He was born over 350 years ago in Holland. Here he is. He wasn't a scientist, but he had a hobby that allowed him to see the world in a way that nobody else before him had done. He was a businessman who sold and traded in fabrics, and he liked to look really closely at the fibre in the cloth with his magnifying glass. He also enjoyed using his magnifying glass to look at other things in nature, such as hair and even his own fingerprints. Leeuwenhoek became interested in how the lens was made. He started to grind his own lenses and make his own microscopes. So this one here is what his first microscopes actually looked like, and that little tiny dot right there is the lens. He made more than 250 simple microscopes. As you can see here, the lens, the sample went on the very end of this little pin. There was a focus knob, and I don't know what that means. Sample translator, I think you could turn the sample around so you can look at all sides of the sample. Some of these microscopes could actually magnify objects 300 times. That's quite powerful for a very early microscope. He studied as many things as he could find. He looked at the sting of a bee and what mold was like. He looked at blood and thin slices of plants. He looked at a drop of water and discovered little creatures moving in it. He discovered little creatures everywhere. He called them animalcules. Animalcules. That's a bit of a hard word to say, animalcules. He was the first person to see microscopic creatures. Leeuwenhoek wrote down and drew everything that he saw with very accurate and detailed pictures. He wrote letters to important scientific societies and told the scientists about his discoveries. At first, nobody believed him. They thought he was crazy. But eventually, the scientists of the Royal Society of London sent an observer to Holland to meet him and investigate his microscopes. So now we can see the journey that started with Leeuwenhoek and his early microscopes all the way through to our modern microscopes. So this is his originals, which then moved on to the Italian compound tripod, then the wooden compound microscope. Then we had this one. This one's starting to look a bit more similar to the ones that we use today. Modern binocular microscope, 2 eyepieces, and then we have digital microscopes that we can hook up to our computers, and all the way to this one here, which is a electron microscope, so able to see things on a very, 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 very tiny, minute, small scale. Okay, that's it about microscopes. Bye.